Okay. Hi, guys. Sorry this is late and sorry I missed the meeting on Thursday. My family had um, we just sat down for dinner and, as you know, it's difficult to find the balance between your schoolwork and your family. And so I haven't done this way, but I'm going to give it a whirl and I'm just going to start by going through my um, chapter outline and just kind of picking out the things that really stuck out to me. And so, starting with chapter 4, which was designing effective instruction, this seemed to kind of all be based on David Merrill's work and kind of talked about outlining um, kind of how to set up your lessons and different ideas to use. And one of the things that I really liked that he talked about was using stories. I think that this is such a good way to help your audience feel things personally, like to make that personal connection. And some of the points that he made were that it makes it more interesting and effective. It can help demonstrate how an abstract principle applies in real life. Again, giving your audience members that personal connection. It helps them remember a principle when it's tied to a story. I don't know why we learn that way, but it is easier to remember. Then it can be used to illustrate a part of the general principle, and you can intentionally choose stories that are relative to your audience. Let's see. Um, I guess the most important thing that I really liked with his information was I liked finding balance. How he talked about you need to find the balance of not just general knowledge to specific information, but um, balance between you as the leader of the discussion and your participants. You don't want to get up there and have it just be a lecture. You want to have your audience participating, and so finding that balance is really important. In chapter 5, engaging an audience, he talked that it talks about the art of teaching, and I love the idea of that. That um, certainly there's a science to it as well, which we're learning more about. Um, but I love the idea of the softer side of that, finding the art um, of teaching. And the my favorite part from chapter 5 was uh, the very last part of the chapter, which was practical applications. And again, I find that when you can find a way to connect to your audience individually or as individuals, that's the way that they're really going to take that message home. And the book talked about it fostering growth and learning, and that as educators, it's important that we're empathetic, caring, authentic, sincere, and have a high degree of integrity, and that we create conditions that promote safety, openness, and trust with our audience, and uh, use methods that support learner centered approaches, promote autonomy, participation, reflection, and collaboration. And some of the tips that they had were both feeling and showing respect for your participants and honoring them, but helping them to also feel that for each other and for you. And my favorite part of the whole chapter was they called it finding ideas within myself. And it was the point of when I don't agree with something that someone says, that's an opportunity to dig a little deeper inside of yourself to make a connection. And I thought that was really important. It's not just accepting on the face of, oh, well, that's not something I agree with. It's, pushing yourself to go deeper than that and find a level where you can make a connection. So I thought that was my favorite part of that chapter. Chapter 6 was teaching skills and tools in family life education. And this was just really good ideas to use. I thought there were lots of them. I liked the idea of the fishbowl with splitting into two groups and having one group only listening while you ask the other group a question, and then have them repeat back what they understood them to say, and then flip-flopping it. And I work with kids a lot, and I thought that would be something that they might enjoy doing, especially since it's called fishbowl. And it involves moving the chairs in a way that's different from what they're used to, and they get to move around a little bit. So I thought that was really good for my particular situation. And I liked where they talked about identifying the stressor and running the ABC. Those steps are, how can I alter the stressor, or do I accept it? Those are the A. B, do I need to build resources? And C, can I change my perception of the stressor? So I thought that those were a really good idea. I like that it's got the ABC and is easy to remember. Let's see. Then I guess going into chapter 7, working with diverse audiences. This is really important to me. I work in the capital city of Lansing, and we really strive for diversity at our school, both racially, ethnically, socioeconomically, about politically, about anything that you can be diverse on. We really try to foster that in our school. So I loved this quote about the diversity of learning styles. They said, any attempt to reduce a group of people to a few descriptors is certain to leave us unprepared to appreciate the rich diversity within the group. So I think sometimes we go the wrong direction when we're trying to think about diversity. We want, on the face of things, we want to say that we're all the same, but we're really not all the same. And if we try to make it that way, I think that's the point that they're getting it at, is that we lose the richness of the group and the depth and diversity. And so I really liked that quote. And then going down under skilled dialogue with Barrera and Corso, I loved what they said about respect, that people do what they do for reasons that make sense to them. And they don't have to be reasons that make sense to you. You don't have to know what their reasons are. You don't have to agree with their reasons. But you do need to respect that it is what it is for them. And it may be very different than your situation, but you can find a level of respect for them based on what their situation is. And then they talked about reciprocity and responsiveness, and I really liked the idea of third space also, which they said is to make a fundamental shift from dualistic, exclusive perceptions of reality and to adopt a mindset that integrates the complementary aspects of diverse values, behaviors and beliefs into a new whole. I really liked that. So it's not trying to convert someone to your way of thinking. It's not you completely moving to what their way of thinking is. It's finding that third space, the common ground, or a new ground where you can both kind of appreciate the other person. So those are the things that I picked out of those chapters that really jumped out at me. And I loved the very last thing from this chapter, and it was talking about kind of a to-do list for the family life educator, that we need to know the audience, we need to know ourselves, explore our limits, make sure we're always evaluating our program materials. And I think these are important, not just in terms of diversity, but overall. And then the last one was be flexible. So those are the things that I really liked. So thanks for listening, and I will leave that with you. Thanks. Bye.